I don't care if you've been watching the downfall of Tesla all night. If you up, smash that like button. Welcome to Black and Black Times Infinity. I'm your host, Cthulhu Prodigy, coming to you live direct from the Beast that Smoke Me Out fam with all the dank stank on my left. Oldest ninja in the world, old ninja.
So imagine you Superman, you wear drawers on the outside, and then you save the world like 50, 11 times, and all of a sudden they start arguing about whether you're legal to stay there or not.
Mm,
Hmm.
Mm.
I like it. On my far right, engineering on the ones and twos, truck people out on threes and fours, Chronos.
Once I had a dream I was floating in orange soda. It was a fantasy.
Those lyrics, like what was that?
That's pretty good.
I got them dad
A
jokes, the
lot of
puns.
stuff.
Got to be punny tonight.
Punny pun.
Uh,
All right,
A lot of
who
stuff.
still did we got it in the chat? Listener of statistical analysis.
Chat, no one so far because we were like 15 minutes late. It's probably like, oh, they're not going to podcast tonight, but we are. Sorry, that was mostly my fault. Um, Listener of the week would be Zor once again. So Steve. Oh no, wait, no, it just updated. It is not. It is Doctor Evil. Walk him down. All right,
Wow,
that's
Damn.
his
I
person's
like it.
name. I like it. All
I
right,
like it.
I can dig it.
Took that crown from Zora. I love
Yeah.
it. Okay. Old Ninja, what you pouring?
Oh, sorry,
Whom's is it for?
Papa Bear. Papa Bear is
What?
the first in the chat.
All
So there
right,
you
good
go.
shit. Oh,
Um, full props of Saint tonight for where's my notes? Here we go. So one of these is new. This one's new, and then the other one I missed 2 weeks ago, but I managed to get it. So the first one we're going to start off with Dave Mallow. He's best known for voicing Babu in the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers
oh
and
yes.
Angemon in the first two seasons of Digimon. He's also voiced characters in games such as Street Fighter, where he was the voice of Akuma, Resistance 3, and the original Call of Duty Black Ops. He's the voice of President Nixon.
Hmm.
Uh, he was in hospice care in I guess I don't even know what this is. I'll say this Atlantadena, California. I don't know what that is, but he died at the age of 76. This man has a huge resume of voice acting, as well as far as anime, games, and like in movies where he was like, so in movies he was the voice of like the computer or some like background character, but he has like a huge list of like credits. So there we go.
Good shit.
Uh, Next up, we have Roy Ayers. He was a vibraphone player, or as they call it, a vibraphonist. He's a composer and producer. He's made famous for the song "Everybody Loves the Sunshine," where he has been described as the godfather of neo soul. He's best known for other compositions as well, such as "Running Away" and "Freaky Deaky" back in the '70s. He composed the soundtrack to Jack Hill's 1973 blaxploitation film "Coffee," which starred Pam Grier. At one time, Ayers was listed among the performers whose music was often sampled by rappers the most.
Mm-hmm.
He only scored one top 10 single or top 10 Billboard's Hot Disco and Dance chart with the song "Don't Stop the Feeling," which was one and which is also the lead-off song from the studio album "No Stranger to Love." This song has actually been sampled by Jill Scott for her song "Watching Me." Uh, he performed the solo in Whitney Houston's "Love Will Save the Day" from her second multi-platinum album, Studio Whitney. He worked with Rick James for the album "Throwing Down." He appears in the opening track "Dance with Me," doing the vibraphone solo. He also worked with a ton of artists for decades, including Erykah Badu for his album Mahogany Vibes. He is the fake host of the FM radio station Fusion FM for the game Grand Theft Auto 4.
Oh shit.
Ayers was also a recipient of the Congress of Racial Equity Lifetime Achievement Award. There we go.
Good shit.
There's a documentary being developed. I didn't see it as released, but it's saying it's being developed, titled the Roy Ayers Project, which has been in development for years. It's been renamed to the Roy Ayers Connection, and is to highlight uh, people and things connected to him and his work. He died at a Manhattan hospital after a long illness at the age of 84. So there we go.
Pretty
That's what
good
I
run.
missed a couple weeks ago.
Rest in
Yeah,
power.
he had so everybody. It's weird because whether you know his original tracks or not, you know his songs because
Yep.
he's been sampled by rappers, most notably from Dr. Dre. He sampled a lot of his stuff. So there you go.
Good shit.
R.I.P.
Sticking with hip hop.
I'm sorry. Well, I got one more. It was special R.I.P. to Mama Stitch. So Stitch lost his mother early this week. He's not here today, but our thoughts are with him, Lilo, and their daughter during this difficult time.
Yep. Staying with hip hop just a little bit. UMG done released another diss track on your boy, Certified Lover Boy.
Wait, UMG? They came out of the cuts. I haven't heard of UMG in a long time.
God damn. They from a legal standpoint ripped this man a new one in terms of just saying it was all good when you was making diss tracks about Kendrick and saying the kid wasn't his and saying he beat on his old lady and all this other stuff. And you engaged in all this stuff. I mean, obviously, we've talked about it here for almost a year now. But UMG said, nah, you are not going to be able to try to twist things in terms of suing us, your label. And
you're talking about I'm talking about UGK, not.
Yeah, I'm sorry, UMG. Did I say UGK?
Yeah. No. You said UMG. I was thinking UGK. But big pimpin'. But anyway.
Big pimpin'.
That's where my mind went. All right, I got you.
Shannon cheese.
Man, it's just I love the fact that the whole world is still clowning on this man, and it's one of those things where it just keeps on giving. Like, there's no way Not Like Us should still be a top 5, top 10 hit, but it just is.
I mean, there is a way because it's it's a great song. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, great song.
That shit slaps to this day.
I mean, it's true. Michael Jackson's done it a few times. So why can't Kendrick?
You're absolutely right. But what helps it though is it gets reinforced by trick ass shit that's right to keep doing. That's what helps so much. People are like, you know what? Let me go back to that song. You know?
It's also
I think a lot of people. What keeps it going that I have seen is fucking. Social media, TikTok,
that's true.
Facebook, Instagram, people are doing like his little dance, and different people are going viral because of dance. Some people do it because they look wooden or they look like super energetic, so they end up going viral because the song's popular, and what they do to the dance that becomes popular. So it's still in the forefront because people are taking the song, especially when you have people from like Newsmax and Fox News saying, who is this guy? Who is that? And it's all over the streets. Like, they're all doing the dance. They're saying the words. They're making not only the dances, they're doing animations, more animations. I know there was some before. There's more popping out now.
Yep.
So, yeah.
It's all on the streets, unlike Drake, because he don't know shit about the streets. So, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
How does last album do?
So it's one of his lowest.
What was it even called? What was it called? Certified. What? No, that wasn't it.
It was some sexy songs for you or something.
Yeah,
like that.
something gross.
Something They're playing his song. What's the song? I Need a Hug or Give Me a Hug.
Something like the funny part about that one, he samples Aaron Hall, who's singing about his wife dying. But on Drake's song,
is it Aaron Hall or is it Guy?
I'm pretty sure it's Aaron Hall. I mean, fact check me.
I know Aaron Hall went solo, but Guy is a triplet. So
yeah, this was solo Aaron Hall. I remember because it had a music video. I remember the music video pretty well, where his wife dies and he's like, "I miss you" and whatnot. It's pretty touching.
Yeah, but I remember he says, "I miss you," but he says, I mean, Drake. I feel like Drake is talking about him taking the L, so maybe he needed a hug. I don't know.
He's saying he needs a hug from strippers who do not love him. So
I mean, okay,
it is what it is.
What I can tell you that is, I think none of his songs are currently in the top 10 from that album. Oh, sorry, Nokia is number 8, and Kendrick has 3 songs
in the top
in
10.
the top 10 still. Luther, Not Like Us, and TV Off.
That's
And yeah.
Yeah, well, I was just gonna say that, and Kendrick's albums and those songs are all from 2024.
Yeah, that's sad, but also I'm happy.
Yep, because
And
fuck him.
And the crazy thing is about like the Kendrick thing is that he keeps coming back on the charts because you just said it, but like 'cause shit keeps happening. Even like his old albums are going back to like #1 status, which is incredible because those albums were really good. So yeah, honestly, I think GNX is like it's nowhere near my favorite album by Kendrick. It's a good album, don't get me wrong, but as far as like his discography, it's like near the bottom. To be honest with you.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
for real. As far as like lyrical content and like actual shit he's saying on the albums, like what album would you put this above from like his discography, except for like Untitled, maybe?
Yeah, and I don't even think I've ever listened to. I got to give Untitled
I need to do
a
the
fair
same
shot.
Yeah, I'm the same.
Yeah, because I started with Good Kid, Mad City, and I've always said it. I will still say it.
I would say Good Kid, Mad City is probably #1 for me, even though the Black Panther soundtracks are the top 3 that people slept on.
Yeah,
but I don't know. I would put X and S as at least a 3, maybe top 3. But I know a lot of people love Damn, so
I mean, don't sleep on To Pimp a Butterfly.
Yeah, I'm trying to think where would I put this.
That's it's hard to like. It's hard to like put it above other albums. Don't get me wrong.
I got to come back because now I'm like thinking, like, oh shit, what about this? Oh shit, what about this?
Here's the issue is it's an abundance of wealth and greatness.
Yeah,
that's the biggest part that's like challenging. They're almost all my favorite. You know what I mean? Like for different reasons. Even Mr. Morale took me a while to
I love Mr. Morale.
Really appreciate it. But then when I sat with it, I was like, okay, I get exactly what he's doing. You know what I mean? To Pimp a Butterfly was a funk conscious album.
Yeah. Which if you're a child of like the 80s, like because your parents listen to funk if you're black anyway.
Yeah.
So these are all like, all right, I can fucking get in this.
Yeah. So, and then Damn just had some incredible beats. But I mean, but again, GNX has incredible fucking hits too.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah, don't get me wrong.
Luther, TV Off. I love Gloria.
Squabble Up. Yeah.
Squabble Up.
No, 30 for 30 has been on the radio for you.
That's SZA though. It's his album.
Yeah, that one's not on GNX.
But I thought it's on both their albums. Though. Or is there different versions of the same thing?
There's Nope. Like I said, then go ahead.
I was just going to say, and then just what was it last week? And I'm not familiar with this artist on a whole lot of levels, but Playboy Carter, I think is his name.
Cardi?
Yeah,
Cardi. So he has an album, and Kendrick's featured 2 or 3 times on there.
Oh, okay.
One of them is Good Credit. I've been listening to that quite a bit, and he's flowing incredibly on that one. So
I mean. Like I said, before, Kendrick did so good last year that he like took all the oxygen out of the room for like pretty much all of rap. Yep. I keep saying it, Tyler the Creator, Doce, who won a Grammy, this year for last year, Schoolboy Q. There's a whole bunch of other like really good rap albums that are like kind of like Kendrick adjacent. All those people are.
Yeah, I'm about to say, because I'm like, every time I see this, I had no idea until the pop out, which was last year, that Schoolboy Q and Kendrick went to high school together.
Well, yeah, there's this whole like black hippie thing, like even Absol, and there's a couple other ones too. But
there's a couple other ones. I think Tyler went to school with them too, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
he might be a year. He's either the same year or a year younger.
Yeah, I thought Tyler was from Hawthorne, right?
Well, I know they know each other from somewhere. I could have sworn because he might have moved out there or something, but I know they're connected.
Well, all I can say though is that if you haven't listened to Chromacopia, which is from Tyler the Creator, or Alligator Bites Never Heals, which is from Doce, or Blue Lips by Schoolboy Q, those are fantastic rap albums. If you were like if you've been off of rap for a while, like I have, to be honest with you, last year was just like I didn't have other shit to do. I did jujitsu and I listened to some new music. So, and it was great. It was a good time to be alive.
There you go, man. Yeah. But fucking yeah, UMG laid a legal ass fucking smackdown, and this lawsuit shit is not gonna work by your boy Drizzy. So
even like on its merits, it's kind of dumb. Like you can't talk about like some guy possibly lying on you when you definitely lied on him, and it's like, what, you expect him to sue you? Like,
not only that, you're absolutely right, but not only that, there's the whole thing of it's plausible based on some really sketchy shit that he's done in public.
Yeah,
in terms of with underage, like you know what I mean? Like, okay, we don't honestly know what he's done behind the scenes when the cameras are off, but we know what he's done with the cameras on. Oh, Ninja left.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now we got a weird view on here. Sorry, I'm gonna be tiny.
But yeah, we'll fucking see, man. He's it's a gift that keeps on giving.
Honestly, the suing thing just really shows that. There we go. He's back. Now we got a proper quorum again. The suing thing just really shows that Drake never really belonged in the rap industry at all.
Nope.
Because if you can't take some diss tracks, you don't really understand like what rap is all about. And Kendrick called him out pretty much from the jump. The culture's not feeling you, and he doesn't really understand the culture because, you got dissed. Oh no, like fucking move on, man. Like you did the same sort of deal with Kendrick, and he just didn't really seem to get it, But he's still a millionaire, so but now is like his popularity is taking a steep decline. Like nobody really gives a shit about Drake except for like super Drake stans. That's about it. Like his album, I'm pretty sure is nowhere near the top 10.
Yeah. It's sad out here for them Owl fans, but hey, it is what it is. They had this coming because I'll never forget him talking about drop. That little boy won't drop. Like, I mean, the egging him on and then losing this badly will never get old.
No, it will not. And that's just, it's sad. Oh wait, so hold on. He's in the top 10 for like his album. So
okay,
he's in the top 3. Okay, he's in the top 3. So GNX is above him. It's GNX and then Mayhem by Lady Gaga, which I didn't even know dropped. It dropped apparently like this week, I guess. So people are still buying his stuff, but he was never. Was he number 1 last week?
Think so.
Yeah, he was number 1 for like maybe a week.
Okay, but here's the thing though, it's when something is new, that's what's supposed to happen, and what's typically happened again with previous more successful albums of his, they stayed at the top for a longer period of time. Remember, GNX is 6 months old now.
Yeah, it's 16 weeks on the chart, so that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, so we shall see. And then the other thing is, I think Kendrick's more than likely going to put out even more music, or a whole new fucking album, or a deluxe album, or some shit.
Yeah, I think
we shall see.
I think a deluxe album is probably on the menu.
Yep.
Fuck happened to Old Ninja? Now I got to figure out how to like do the split screen thing because I got the small fucking thing.
Yeah, like he was here and came back and dropped. I don't know. It is what it is. Speaking of dropping and going downhill, whoo boy, that Tesla stock just keeps on going. It's the gift that will not stop. I love it.
Yeah, maybe I could do a spotlight. Nope, why didn't we do that? All right, yeah. Honestly, I feel sort of bad for the people that bought Teslas. Like, it's not your fault that this guy's a madman and he's doing really bad shit, but he earned it. The people that bought his cars didn't, except maybe the Cybertruck people, because that car looks like shit, and it's not very functional. So, yeah, I have less sympathy for them. But they still don't deserve, in my mind, to get like their cars fucked with and all that shit. But he keeps being reckless, and now he's calling out Democrats as a whole of saying like I thought they were the party of peace. And it's like, like you keep doing fucked up shit to people. Like people are literally, starving and dying in other countries because you took away like their funding So yeah, you're putting people out of work. That's like, causing them to like, be homeless, lose a lot of money, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you can't sit there and try to be on like your high horse. You don't got a high horse. You're the richest man in the world, of the known world anyway. People that, that don't use dark money, even though he kind of does. But, and you're sitting there whining. Why the fuck are you whining? Like, seriously, you're whining about some shit that you directly caused. So he seems like a little weak bitch, which he always has been. So, me, I'm no Elon Musk fan. I think he's okay. Old Ninja's audio's fucked up. Yeah, okay. Figure out your audio stuff, man. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's deserved, and I feel bad for the Tesla folks. But honestly, there's like a whole bunch of other stuff that's like he's a CEO of like what 3 or 4 different companies. He's lucky that it's only Tesla.
Yeah.
Honestly, like SpaceX, fucking Twitter. What was the other one? The Boring Company. Like,
yep.
This is how I know. I said it before on the podcast. He talks about how his job is so hard. No, it's not hard. If your job was hard, if being a CEO was hard, you couldn't possibly be the CEO of fucking 4 companies. It's not that hard. It's not. You just got a bunch of money and you just do whatever the fuck you want. You talk reckless, and now you're paying the price. So no sympathy from me.
Yeah, I will also say this. What's wild to me is, and I don't have the exact data to completely back this up, but I know it intuitively. I'm sure there are more Teslas bought in California, Oregon, Washington, and then up and down the kind of northeastern corridor and whatnot than there are in rural ass Arkansas and Mississippi and Alabama and small towns in Texas and whatnot. I think it's a car that's bought by more blue states than red states.
Yeah,
if I were to guess.
That's what I never got about his whole thing about like I'm gonna go to Texas and I'm gonna talk shit about all these Democrats. Like that's who's buying your vehicles. Like what are you doing? We can hear you, old Ninja.
Can you hear us?
Maybe not. We can hear you.
All right. Well.
He's reversed the issue. Anyway, yeah, like he didn't understand like who's actually buying his vehicles. Like it definitely was nobody in Texas. Yeah. You know what I mean? So yeah, go ahead and move there. Like his whole thinking of like let's move to Texas when it's like they're the ones that are producing. I don't want to say the vast majority, but at least a big portion of oil in America, and he's literally building electric cars. Like that's how I know he's a dumbass. Yeah,
I mean, I talked about this a few weeks or months back or whatever. Remember, there was that whole time for like mid 90s, late 90s, early 2000s, where they literally tried to purposely, castigate all people who owned or even leased an electric car as being gay or lesbian or whatever. Remember all that shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, they made all these jokes that, oh, you're some Portland, Seattle, live in San Francisco, blah, blah, blah. Well, in general, in rural Alabama and Mississippi and whatnot, you see a lot of trucks and folks who like to have F-150s. You know what I mean? Like,
and guess what? There are places where you didn't put fucking superchargers.
Yeah.
So, like, oh, he couldn't hear. Can you hear us now? Oh, Ninja? Can you talk?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay. Yeah, my shit disconnected because my system updated, so it was like fucking wonky.
Gotcha.
So also my background course I'm a parasystem.
You're parasystem.
But my background's like fucking slowing shit down while it's like functions updates. So
you need to do lots of more than I do. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I do. My shit's pretty old.
Mine's been pretty chill for a little bit because I talked about replacing it. Now it's like, all right, I'm gonna calm down.
Yeah. He's gonna act right now, huh?
Yeah.
Oh wow. I should do the same thing. Where's the belt?
Yeah.
Old Ninja, I don't know how much you heard of it, but we got on Elon.
All I heard was Elon, and I'm like, fuck him.
Yeah. So. Well, I will say this: Europe ain't playing around. For shit. I saw some.
Why would they?
Where Germany was like 94% of those surveyed was like, nah, we ain't ever buying no Tesla.
Oh, you want to see Kyle? Oh, okay. Like, yeah, we ain't doing that. Honestly,
wild
like
stuff.
Germany is one of the few countries. I don't want to say a few. One of the countries that America could take notes of about how to properly like atone for what you've done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Because you talk about Nazis in Germany, it's like fuck no. Even though I know they have like the whole, there's like a new party that came up that's like associated with Nazis, but as a whole though, they paid reparations out to people that were harmed, and they generally don't fuck around with Nazis. So
yeah. They still don't. In
yeah,
fact, there was. I don't know if y'all saw the parade. I showed y'all the parade they had with hella Trump and stuff and anti-Nazi like signs and just like paraphernalia out there. Like it's like real for them, and they're
Mm-hmm.
talking hella shit about Trump.
no, but there is
Hella
a, what the fuck is it called? There is a party in Germany. It's called like the AFD. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Alternative for Germany. Yeah, which is like, and funny enough, not even funny enough, just terrible enough. Elon Musk like was at one of their conventions. Like he live streamed
Here we
in
go.
and like to talk to them. And it's just like, dude, like stop doing Nazi shit and then talk to Nazis. Like you can't say that you're not about that life when you're obviously about that life. So especially being from South Africa, if you want to do some history lessons about South Africa and Nazism, like you can look that up. So yeah. And like the whole way he made his money, which is from children digging gems out of the ground. But yeah,
yeah.
anyway, not a fan of that
mean,
dude.
It's not about. For me, it's more about the cultists. They make all kinds of excuses for what he's doing. They're like, it's clearly not a Nazi salute. That was a Roman salute. And I don't know why you guys keep clinging to this.
It's
And
not
he
a Roman
clearly
salute.
is a fan of the Roman Empire or Spartan and all this shit. I'm like, dude, it looks like a Nazi salute. And then they show you, well, what about these? And it's like still pictures of like Democrats that have done it, but they're all still pictures. They're not video. I'm like, dude, y'all just showed them in like mid motion and had to stop and then collage it together, like saying these people are doing the salute. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah, I will also say, anybody any organization or any group that couldn't see that for what it was, just they're on some ostrich bullshit. You know what I mean? Like it was plain as day. We saw it. We know what it was. We know it wasn't a fucking accident. He did it more than once. I think it was twice on stage. So I don't have any sympathy whatsoever for Elon or his fucking companies or whatever. And here's the other thing too. People are still, fortunately, free to make decisions for themselves financially in terms of this company doesn't represent me and, I don't want to support them. You know what I mean? Like,
so with this regime change, I will say we shall see how long that lasts.
This is true. This is very true. This is very true.
When you saw how
there's all,
and they're already
good.
Well, they're already trying to they've already talked about saying what was it that boycotting Tesla is like a form of terrorism or some shit. I'm just like, what? Like what? Like that's so dumb. It even like the bombing the cars and all that stuff. That's just property. Like nobody's trying to kill Tesla employees. Yeah, like don't get me wrong. Like property damage is wrong. Like I'm with you on that. But like nobody's killing people over this, so it's just property, and it's not terrorism. Nobody's out there with a fucking anti Tesla manifesto. They just really don't fucking like that guy, and it's the easiest way for them to like get back at him. So like I don't know, stop doing fucked up shit. It seems like a pretty easy solution. Stop advocating for ending cancer research for children. Or stop advocating for sending condoms to people to countries that have an AIDS uprising. Like there's a lot of things you can do to like not be a total piece of shit. And then once somebody has some backlash, you get all mad about it. It's like
they both do. I mean, go ahead.
The amount of harm that Elon Musk has caused at this point is far more than the property damage that has been done to Tesla. Like it is. So. Crocodile tears from a billionaire. I don't really give a shit. I don't.
I'm just gonna. I know everybody knows this, but I just have to say it out loud. A billionaire means you have $1,000 million.
Yeah, people don't.
And he has over at his height or whatever,
400.
over $400 billion.
Mm-hmm.
Like this bootlicking ass energy of, oh, we got to protect and kiss his ass and all this other stuff. Like, you realize that if he wanted to help literally millions of people overnight, he could financially, like, and still be the richest. So,
But
you know,
hold on, as Prodigy as you and Cronus know that kids are expensive. So having 14 plus kids, that's not cheap. I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
well, kids are expensive, yes, and then knocking up women who are your subordinates is also even more expensive. But you know, it
Yeah.
is what it is.
Well, I mean, there's that, but he smashed it. Well, so what I saw, I don't know how much true this is, but one of the girls, the latest kid that was revealed, has been around for a little bit. Apparently, she's some kind of influencer or something, and she used to bash the whatever podcast. Don't get me wrong, the whatever podcast is kind of mid to me because I do feel like they kind of bring OnlyFans girls on there just to bash them, but they do give credit every now and then, I guess. But the one girl that was on there was used to bash them, and now it's revealed that she did exactly what they were talking about. Like she got the bag, I guess, as they would say. So, yeah,
This is kind of interesting. So, like, Papa Bear brings up a good point about the terrorism thing, which honestly, I kind of want to have him on to talk about this. About the whole terror, because like literally, it is the definition of terrorism. Like he's right, of like acts of violence and fear to produce some sort of change. But like nobody's out there telling him like what to do. You know what I mean? Like I feel like other terrorists, they have like manifestos or like they were out there. Like nobody's out there like first of all, nobody's claiming that they've done it, and they're also not saying like what they want him to change. We all know what we want him to do, but nobody's out there saying it. So I'm on kind of the fence of like, is it really terrorism or not? But they were saying like literally boycotting was terrorism, and boycotting is not terrorism. I the whole burning down Teslas and all that shit. Yeah, that could be, I guess, a form of terrorism, but like literally boycotting the company is not terrorism, and that's what they literally said. And I'm just like, it is your choice to like not buy from a company. So yeah.
And I mean, to be clear, he also makes a good point that religion and social change is usually big motivators for terrorism, especially if we saw what happened to our people during the civil rights movement. They were bombing churches, with people in it,
and like
so.
The terrorism as a label always depends on who's in power and what time period we're fucking talking about. It's used as a really great tool and vehicle sometimes for just anybody you want to scapegoat and blame. And I mean, the perfect example of that is always going to be, for me, Nelson Mandela being labeled a terrorist throughout all of our lifetime, pretty much until like 2008 or 2009. You'll have to fact check me on the exact year. But well into him being president of South Africa, So yeah.
I got to bring up like something just really quick.
Go ahead.
So Papa Bear in the chat, he said that boycotting would not be a good point. Thank you, but also you're right about the whole like destruction of property could be considered terrorism. I'm with you on that. And protesting with the wallet, loves that. I'm with you on that. But I need to be fucking very clear because we live in a very weird time where in America, the current administration wants to label boycotting a private company terrorism, but you can be a neo-Nazi and hold rallies in America and not be considered a terrorist, and KKK rallies and not be considered a terrorist and not get arrested, and like nobody's coming after you. Like, is this what we're doing?
Hasn't the KKK labeled a terrorist group back in the
did they get arrested? No, like they're not getting arrested. There's rallies like all the fucking time. The cops don't come out and arrest them. They always say First Amendment rights. That's the First Amendment right. But literally, what those groups advocate for is violence against people of color.
There, I mean, I'll take you back as recently as last year. If we're being clearly honest. There were the label of terrorism was used against some campus peaceful protesters as well. Let's
Yes.
be clear.
Is that why they deported that one guy from was it
Colombia?
Colombia?
Yep.
Yeah, and then they pulled funding from Colombia.
Yeah, Colombia's on some fucked up shit. But I just want to be really clear that it's not. I understand textbook definitions. I'm right there with you, but the way it's applied and used as a label is extremely spongy, and it's based on who's in power and who they want to attack sometimes.
Well, I mean, even saying like it depends on who's in power, but it's like I haven't seen like somebody on. And don't get me wrong, I'm not a Democrat, so but because I think they're still far to the right as far as I'm concerned. But even Democrats, like they don't. Who are they labeling as terrorists?
Oh, what I just was trying to use as an example. There were labels of terrorists being thrown even during the Biden administration.
For who?
At peaceful student protesting.
Yeah,
on
that's
university
a good.
campuses
That's a good example. Yeah,
throughout this fucking
that's not
country.
Terrorism. Yeah,
and I mean, come on now, like that. That's why I always get my spidey senses start tingling when people say, "Oh, well, so and so's a terrorist." Yeah, there are some terrorists. I get it, but it's sometimes easily used as I don't like this person, so I'm going to use this label, and especially when it's someone powerful saying, "Okay, boycotting or doing a sit-in or having a sign that I don't like." Those truly aren't terrorism.
I'll never forget. We all saw this video. The kid in Arkansas, right? And he had the Black Lives Matter sign, and he just stood there and he just videotaped people stopping up to him. And like this one lady, she literally pulled up like hard braced and like was like, "Are you a Marxist?" And he didn't say anything. She's just like, "Are you a Marxist?" And he just like, "Yeah." And she just drove away. Like after like the kid is like 18, 19 years old, and it's just like people were just like they threatened his life just for the sign. Even though he didn't say anything, he just sits there, videotape all these people who stopped up to him.
Well, honestly, this kind of segues into like my number 2 topic that I want to talk about is Mahmoud Khalil.
Yeah,
which is kind of crazy because this like literally is in the same context of like a guy who's a green card holder who led some protests, and I forget which college it was.
Columbia.
Yeah, it was Columbia. Okay, you were talking about before. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they are trying to deport this guy. They put him in basically like in deportation camps for basically terrorism, which is kind of crazy because like that's not terrorism. It's like you can be against something and that's okay in America. Like he didn't destroy property, he didn't call for violence, he didn't do any of that stuff. He's still protected underneath the First Amendment because he's a green card holder. He's on his way to being a citizen. He still has full rights as an American, and they're trying to deport this guy to somewhere, and that's insane. I think he's a test case, and this administration is really going down a path that is honestly it leads to like a certain, historically anyway, it's gone in a certain direction that it's been pretty fucking bad. You go back to like the 1940s, and they're just like it's like they're reading a book, and they're just like, we're just gonna do all that stuff, and we're gonna see how far we can go, and they just keep doing it. I hope that like America wakes up, because like that guy, he's first of all, he's not a terrorist. Just saying that you don't want children to die in Palestine does not make you a terrorist. He didn't say that he was pro-Hamas. He didn't, even if he said he was pro-Hamas, it doesn't matter. You can say that in America and not get arrested because you have the First Amendment. As long as you don't as long as you're not calling for violence or something like that, like, you know.
I just want to pop 2 things on top of what you're saying there, Cronus. One, in the city that you two live in, I was down by Balboa Park. You want to know something I saw? There was a tent with these people there that said, "Join the Church of Satan." And they're sitting
yeah.
there with paraphernalia and whatnot, and it's their First Amendment right to promote their religion. I mean, I know a lot of people that are not cool with that, obviously, but they're allowed to speak it, and they had their own church, and they had meetings and stuff. They're recruiting right there with like thousands of people around. And don't get me wrong, they're 50 feet away. There's a guy promoting Jesus. He had a megaphone in the John 3:16 sign with them, but they were right there. And as long as everything was peaceful, they can say what the hell they wanted.
The way it's supposed to be. But here's the thing, you and I both know laws get eroded, rights get taken away, things get on that slippery slope. Well, you can say everything except for this, or I really don't like that, so let's arrest this person. And I'm gonna, everybody has heard that whole poem of first they came for the so and so, first they came.
It's literally happening right now.
Yeah, that's exactly where we are, and people don't give a shit to speak out. A lot of people don't, because he was brown, and I don't like that funny sounding name. It sounds Middle Eastern
or he was
Islamic.
loud. Or he was loud.
Yeah.
He was loud. He was black. He was,
Yeah, or brown. Yeah, or he had a turban. He had that towel on his head.
Well, that was just a transsexual person. That's not a real person. Like,
it's not a real woman. Yeah, and it's always about trans women too. It's never about trans men.
But what I'm saying is, it's always an other. It's always
it's always about the other.
It's always someone. That it doesn't really count if we go against them. You know what I mean?
Because they're not the main. They're not the norm. Also, the second thing I want to point out is Cronus brought up the book. The book that they're actually, it's not a book. It's a proposal. The proposal they're following is the Project 2025.
Yeah.
Which a lot of shit that they've been enacting is almost like her. I don't want to say paragraph. They're like in sections because the proposal is like apparently 400 to 450 pages long. And I know he hasn't read it, but he has an abridged version.
No, I mean,
his administration is
he
called
can't
the
say he
47.
hasn't read it. I mean, first of all, I don't believe that he doesn't even know about it, because like he literally has people that are in his administration that wrote the book. So
and only that, his administration has Project 47, which is very, very, very similar. So.
Yeah, it needs to like. All this shit that's going on needs to like just stop. I would love for America to just chill the fuck out. We're getting extra racism today, and it's just like, can we just go back to like the normal amount of racism and bullshit that we've been going through? Like that level was pretty painful, but Jesus Christ, like you guys are like going kind of overboard. Like you need to stop, and I need people to really understand, especially for the next election, is that this president, no matter what they tell you, he did not get half of the votes. There were over 80 million people in America did not vote for anybody. All right. And so he has less than a third of the vote. Obviously, so did Kamala Harris, but it gave me some hope for America going forward. We had two shitty options. Obviously, he was the shittiest option, but yeah, like I think the rest of Americans, like the 80 million plus people that didn't vote last time, like please vote in the next election, and we need to like not repeat this bullshit. I voted in the last election. I didn't want to, and I didn't vote for either of them, but at least my fucking vote was counted. And if 80 million people would have voted for the person I voted for, guess what? She would have been president.
Yep.
So she would have beat them both by fucking handily. So. Yeah, just do your research. This is getting, if you want to see like how bad shit can get in America, we're in, what is it, like month 2? Like, and this is already like this bad. Like it's only month 2. We have,
I keep saying, wait till summer. Summer was probably really going to pop off. And I know it's been talked about since last year because it's in the Project 2025. And it's been circling around the drain, and it's probably going to pop up probably by June or July, maybe even earlier. But there's been talk about them repealing the Civil Rights Act. That's possibly on the chopping block.
Let me be real clear on this one. too, because all of our lifetime, I just thought Roe versus Wade was like codified law. You know what I mean? That was already settled. Man, the rights are being taken the fuck away. So don't say it can't happen, because you're full of shit. And everybody says it can't until it actually does. And the other thing is, I believe someone like Clarence Thomas would even vote against being able to have interracial marriage, even though he's in one.
Yeah, so that was also part of the discussion. I didn't really, I know people brought that up, but I wouldn't be surprised as well, because I think some people think he would vote that way. Except for him, there will be clauses like, except for these people, they check these little boxes like this doesn't apply to them. So
I don't even, at this point, I don't think he even cares.
Yeah,
like he's enriched himself so much it doesn't even matter. He's been so enveloped in whiteness, it doesn't matter. If they're revoked, like his marriage doesn't matter. He's still fucking wealthy.
Yep.
Like look at all the trips that he gets to go on. Look at the yachts and the fucking private planes and his fucking his RV and all this stuff. Like he doesn't care. The guy, he just cares about enriching himself. If he wasn't married to his wife, it doesn't matter. He's still enjoying his life, and it doesn't matter. And he's at pretty much the end of his life. So at this point, he's already sold it. He's already sold himself out for all of this. Remember, this guy used to be super pro civil rights. That's how he started.
Yeah.
He used to be. Go ahead.
I was also going to just really quickly say, don't come crying to me when some of these folks pass away or get a heart attack or whatever happens, and the internet does its internet thing, because I'm gonna be laughing like a motherfucker. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I'm gonna be just like the Irish when Queen Elizabeth died, talking about Lizzie's in a box singing in that soccer game and shit. I'm gonna be that motherfucker.
Damn. I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm just saying Clarence Thomas has drank so much of the Kool-Aid that it's like solely in his bones now. So that Kool-Aid must taste real good.
You know what's funny is that they didn't actually drink Kool-Aid. I think I talked about this on the podcast. I think I talked about this on the podcast before.
Was it Tang? What was it?
No, it was something like some cheap knockoff of Kool-Aid. It wasn't Kool-Aid. I feel like
Tang.
No, it wasn't Tang either. I feel like Kool-Aid co-opted it somehow, but it was not Kool-Aid. It was some other kind of flavored drink. If y'all didn't know what the fuck we're talking about the people that drank a flavored drink with cyanide to commit suicide. But it definitely was not Kool-Aid.
Jonestown in Guyana, right?
Yeah. Oh, shit.
Yeah, very well. 1978. Oh, he died in 78.
But what did they drink? It wasn't Kool-Aid.
Hang on. Let me see if I can find what they drank. I mean, they all collectively drank. So the idiom goes that they all collectively drank something. So they can be, was it the Comet people, or that's Hellbop? What are they supposed to do? They're supposed to drink Kool-Aid to be somewhere. Be in heaven or not even heaven.
Some religious cult bullshit.
He said they would all be joined together, or they would get new bodies or something. So
it was called Flavor Aid.
There you go.
Flavor Aid. It was not Kool-Aid.
You know what the really sad thing is? If you talk to some old heads, I would even say
Papa Bear knew. He just touched it. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you talk to some folks in our parents' generation and whatnot, a lot of people in the Bay knew folks who got sucked up into that cult.
Well, dude, this was all through California. This was from L.A. to Ukiah.
Yeah.
God dang. So he had temples in Los Angeles, Bakersfield, Fresno, San Francisco, Sacramento, Santa Rosa, and Ukiah. So if you don't know, that's a good 700-800 mile stretch.
Well, people have a misunderstanding about California. All right, we've talked about it a few times on the podcast, but we are not some safe haven for everybody. There's certain spots. Don't get me wrong, San Francisco, LA, not even San Diego. To be honest with you, San Diego is not a very safe place. We got Hillcrest, and that's about it. But This is not a safe place for like most people. The vast majority of California is super right leaning. It's just, the most populous areas are, left leaning, and it's like by a wide margin. But like you go to like other parts, like you go to like the Central Valley, you might as well go to fucking Texas. You know what I mean? Like,
you're absolutely right, but there's also exceptions to even that. Like Orange County is well populated, and Orange County in general is very, very conservative. So
yeah, but they do have a lot of MILFs. I will say this. I'm just saying. Yeah, I did. So I didn't even know. So I mean, actually, a lot of towns in the state, I thought they were just like super podunk fucking towns. A lot of these towns have fucking airports. Like I didn't know Bakersfield has a fucking airport.
Yeah.
Orange County has a fucking airport because I had to live there for like an hour. I was like, when the fuck did this place have a fucking airport?
Yeah, Orange County's had John Wayne. Yeah, for a long time. I used to live right near there. You know what's funny about that airport is they have to take off like at almost a vertical angle because of because if you ever take off from John Wayne, you know what I'm talking about. But like it takes off at a very extreme angle. It's because of noise constraints around the area.
Makes sense. That sounds like some rank.
They got fucking money in Orange County. I'm just saying.
They do.
Ben had money.
Dude, there's pages and pages on this fucking dude. I'm like looking at Jim. I'm not reading it, but there's so much information on this dude. He was putting in work. Like, what the fuck?
It was Jim Jones, right?
Yeah, Jim Jones had all kinds of work. Like, he had churches, and it talked about what he taught. Like, he was teaching people. He took a history and education job. Like, he was teaching people religion at colleges and shit. Like, what the fuck?
Look, it was a different time, and unfortunately, people were looking for something that they could belong to.
Oh my god! This is terrible. There's children there. God dang.
Yeah, it's all bad, dude.
It's all bad. I mean, I've heard growing up, even though I was alive during this happened, growing up, like people only refer to the whole Kool-Aid thing, not about what he did. So if you ever seen, what's that fucking movie? Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. It is a very, very, very fictionalized version of the Manson murders or whatnot. Even though it does not even happen the way that movie ended. It was complete opposite, actually. But I haven't seen any movies that actually like cover this whole thing.
There's some documentaries. There's some documentaries on it.
I'm talking about like a fictionalized, or dramatized version of this, because there's a lot of information about this fucking shit. Like, holy shit.
Well, it's just like you don't hear. I don't know of any, or maybe I'm wrong on this. Like, fact check me, but I've seen documentaries. But have you seen fictional stuff on Waco?
Yeah, there was a TV movie on Waco.
Okay.
Like way back in the day. Even fucking Orenthal Jones had a fictionalized version of what the fuck he had. Like, what the fuck? Like, literally, while he was in jail, they were filming all the way up until he was like chasing on fucking 101. Like, that was some shit. Like, this here, actually, I could be wrong. There could be a movie from like the 80s, but I don't hear anybody talk about this shit. There's a lot of shit. I just talked about the whole expression, drinking the Kool-Aid, although the specific beverage used was Flavor Aid. God damn.
Yeah.
Flavor Aid didn't catch no stray bodies over that shit at all. People still drinking Flavor Aid.
People still drink Kool-Aid too. God dang.
It is what it is.
The 70s world. So people are going to look back in the 2100. The year 2100, they're going to be looking back at this time and period. They're going to say, dang, they were wilding back then.
Yeah.
Just like I'm going to say in the 70s, they were wilding back then.
I'd really appreciate not living through another major geopolitical healthcare financial crisis. Like, it feels like if we're just back to back with that shit, like every 3 to 4 years or less, God,
I mean, so you may find some solace by the year 2035. We may have a major impact by asteroid, so we may lose like 1 billion people.
No, we'll be fine.
I know we'll be fine. I mean, China or India end up saving the world, but it may not. I mean, we may kill ourselves before that. Never know.
I think the most likely thing and the thing that people don't want to talk about right now is this economic stuff is on shaky ground, and it looks like we are well past due for another recession. So we gonna see.
Well, I mean, they're pretty much pushing us towards a recession right now. I mean, it's like
Yep.
it's almost unavoidable at this point. Because they're just the whole. So what the market likes is stability, which is
Yep.
crazy. Well, it's not crazy, but like you need stability, right, for markets, and everything that the current president is doing is just destabilizing everything. I mean, like him saying, "I'm going to tariff that. I'm going to tariff this. I'm going to 200% tariffs. I'm going to tariff, just these things." It's like it's so insane, but it's going to destabilize the market. And if you're a millionaire or a billionaire, it's great because you can just buy on the dip, and if you have some money, just we're not at the bottom yet. We're going to get there, but you can buy some cheap stocks right now. Like if you have no morals, buy some Tesla stock. Buy some fucking,
Right.
buy some General Dynamics, buy some Lockheed Martin. There's a whole bunch of buy some fucking oil stocks. Like it's so cheap right
I'll
now.
say buy crude oil.
Yeah.
Crude oil.
Just
Yeah.
honestly, you'll make a bunch of money. So
Actually, well, you should always. I would say as it's starting to hit, invest in recession-proof stuff. Usually, rare minerals. Those usually end up going up.
Well, they
during
do, but
recession, so.
they don't shoot up as much as like some of these other like reactionary
No,
stocks.
they don't.
Don't get me
But
wrong.
at
I mean,
least you'll be
gold
safe.
goes up, but like if you buy on the dip for like some of these tech companies and some of these defense companies, especially if like we're gonna go to war and shit like that, like you just for some reason we bombed Yemen,
Yeah.
a couple days ago, and it's just like, why are we doing this? So yeah, from the same guy that said that we're not going to start any new wars, but we're just bombing a sovereign nation and talking about taking over Greenland and talking about taking over, Canada. This is insanity, and all this stuff is like not stable. So yeah, but buy on the dip, like I said.
Kool-Aid. Just saying. Anyway, I wanted to talk about one thing, but I want to save it for next week because I'm just gonna say this. Anybody that said they have read the JFK files and start putting out shit like, oh, this is about Israel, this is about Cuba, this is about Russia, they're full of fucking shit. You wanna know why? Because those files are 80,000 plus pages. There's no way some person read all of that in 24 hours. There's no fucking way. No way. So anyone, you may have read a section of it and you can postulate what you think or it's like alluded to happen, but you don't have the whole story unless you read the whole fucking thing. And don't get me wrong, I'm pretty sure there's someone that has read the whole thing. They're probably most likely 80 years old because they read it back in 89. So
Yeah. But I will say this though, you can use technology to word search
you can use
any
ChatGPT,
document.
you can do yes, but you're not going to get the whole story just by looking up. Oh, Israel's in this, so therefore Israel's a cause of this, or Cuba's listed at this, 2,000 times, so that means Cuba's behind this. Like, no, you should read the whole thing, get the whole story. But ain't nobody. The only people I can tell you, or actually, I don't want to say people. Yeah, I'll say people. Groups of people is fucking poli-sci kids. They're pouring through this probably for the next 2 weeks to the last month. All these universities with all these poli-sci kids, they're probably reading this 8 hours a day, eating it up, and going to class. And they'll probably won't get through it until mid-April. So all this shit that you're seeing on these sites, they're full of shit. There's no way they got the whole story in less than 24 hours, or roughly 24 hours. Ain't no way.
Well, I will say this, that, even though these are the files, and I tend to agree with you in terms of reading it that quickly, there's been dozens and dozens of books and papers and podcasts and all movies, all this other stuff. I mean, it was a world event, you know what I mean? So there are people who were saying things prior and people who will say things post, this file release. So it is what it is. We'll see.
For now, yeah. I'm gonna wait till someone actually credible. It's like I've read 700 or 79,000 of the pages. I got 1,000 left. But here's the gist of it. I'll go with that. But not
Yeah.
after 24 hours. All of a sudden, somebody's like, "Oh, I know what the fuck happened. I know what the." Apparently, there's no big gotcha or big reveal or some world
Hold on, stop for a
fucking.
second. Hold on.
All right, so doesn't even if someone tomorrow says they fucking read these files, they're fucking lying.
You
They're
said
not reading
80,000 pages?
80,000 pages in 36 hours. No, even if you read them 8 hours a day, you're not going to get through all that in 3 days. No way. There's no way.
But you don't know me. I'm a speed reader, old man.
Oh my god.
You know?
No, this is from the guy who gets carded in Monster Hunter Worlds. No, I'm not buying that.
Man, I'm not even getting carded that much. I can't. How dare you?
Yeah, carded.
Gemma got my back, man. She made me She made me some real good gear. I'll be all right.
Yeah, she do be making that gear. Be sweating if their midriff fall out.
Mm-hmm.
I feel it.
It is.
Anyway, can we finally move on to some somewhat fucking, I guess, shit we can be somewhat joyful about?
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know. What do we want? Y'all are all about this solo leveling. This seems to be taking like pop culture by storm now. Yep. Everyone's talking about this. Y'all want to talk? I don't watch the show, so
solo leveling is great. You need to start watching it, man. It's
yeah. I don't have the platform to watch it yet, but there's ways to watch it. I just haven't done it. Whenever it's probably gonna end up in Hulu or Netflix in like a month anyway. So.
That's probably true.
Yeah,
but it's
I can wait it out.
It's legit. You just love to see this guy get more and more powerful, and now he's going up against more powerful enemies that can one-shot people. He's going up against some motherfucking black ant that's all evolved and shit that has the ability to cut off fucking heads.
So, since I do not watch the show, admittedly, let me ask y'all this because I know y'all watch it. Is this like kind of similar to Ready Player One or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Because I was figuring like you start out as this guy's like an NPC and then starts to level up and like do these quests and all of a sudden he's more powerful. No,
it gets more powerful, but it's not like that. Yeah,
it has some elements of Sword Art Online, to a certain degree.
So technically, what you're saying is sort of right. Like it's somebody goes into a game world, but not really because like the game world goes into like his world. But yeah, it's nothing like Ready Player One, like at all.
Okay,
it's violent. Yeah. It's quite violent. People get fucked up, but they don't come back.
Yep.
Okay. I mean, are y'all caught up or?
Yeah, I'm current, man. I watch that shit every fucking week. That shit is good. That shit it is really great. I think we're close to the end of this season 2, though.
Yeah, we got 2 left. Sorry, I'm going through some stuff, but yeah, we got 2 episodes left, and I know one of them is going to be Jinwoo versus the Black Ant, and because that Black Ant was fucking everybody up.
Yep.
And they do a really good job of like doing the cliffhangers.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yep.
For sure. All I know is next month there's going to be a huge explosion in new shows, and one of which is fucking Andor season 2. I can't fucking wait. That's just going to be like there's been like a behind the scenes shit that just got my mouth all wet. I'm just like, God dang, like, and it's supposed to take place over 4 years of Andor in the service of the rebellion. So there's going to be all kinds of shit. Director Krennic from Rogue One is in this shit. Like,
nice.
This is supposed to be like it. They're going for it fucking hard. This is end of April, sort of. We also get like in the middle of April, fucking season 2 of The Last of Us.
Yep.
Like fucking A. Like they going hard. I will say, I'm a little disappointed that the actress they got to play Abby is not swole. They didn't have her bulk up. They didn't get anybody that could act and be somewhat swole. Like there's plenty of WWE chicks, even though they're probably older, but still.
Are they going to CGI some muscles on her? Is that what's going to happen?
No, apparently not. Apparently not. They said
Honestly,
that's not. They said that's not part of her character or some bullshit.
but get the fuck out of here. I mean, listen, Swole Abbey was Swole Abbey for a reason. I think that they're missing a huge opportunity by like not having Swole Abbey. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure the actress can act great, but Swole Abbey having like yoked ass arms and fucking people up. This is the problem that like from the game, she was so much more physical than
Ellie.
than Ellie, and that's a huge like difference of like how physical she was than Ellie. And I think that some of that might get lost, but it's only to fucking nerds, that played the game. I think that if you never played the game and you're watching the show, what she's gonna do, she's probably not gonna matter like how big she is. So, because honestly, what she does, you don't need to have a gigantic body for. So
that's true.
But it's just like her general fighting style that like.
So
but you're right about her fighting style, and I appreciated that in the game. But I love the whole backstory. Like,
like why she got big.
She dedicated herself physically and mentally to really the cause and like this proto military basically and lifting, and she was serious about her soldier shit and her working out because she was dealing with the trauma of her dad being murked by Joel. That was like, that's where she put her fucking physical energy into.
Well, yeah, goddamn, we're kind of like spoiling.
Spoiling.
So I was trying to spoil like what was gonna happen, but y'all will see that if you haven't played the game, season 2 will it'll put you in some feels. Definitely. I think that's like there's very few games that might make you cry, and this is one of them,
or make you like question what are you doing. Like you're like, what the fuck's happening right now? Like, why? But I do agree that this whole thing is that they are similar in a lot of ways between Abby and Ellie, but they're physically and fighting style different. Like Abby, when you get control of Abby in the game, she's a complete like the controls are similar, but the way she plays is completely different. She's a straight up brawler.
Yeah.
Like going toe to toe with people. Like she uses weapons, but sometimes she don't even need weapons. She can literally take a whole house, fisticuffs, and come out on top.
Don't forget though, and this is what The Last of Us, both part 1 and part 2, do really well. They take people who are broken and showcase like their trauma and how they navigate that, and sometimes make even worse decisions, even though you like certain characters. As the story goes on. So don't go thinking, I'm not gonna spoil nothing, but don't go thinking that such and such beloved character is so sweet and always gonna be the world of The Last of Us is different. Real different.
Yeah, especially like we've watched the first season, like you should already know that there's like something is not quite right with Ellie. So yeah.
We gonna see. We gonna see.
We're gonna see. Yeah. I mean, I've seen they've already been promoting a lot of behind the scenes images, a little bit like snippets and shit. I've been trying to refrain. I'm trying to see because they're obviously going to make some changes.
Wait, did you not play the game?
Oh, I own the game.
I didn't. Hold on, sir. I didn't answer that. Yeah,
you didn't answer.
Answer my question. Did you not play the game?
Oh yeah. I finished the game. I finished when it came out.
Saying you owned it, that's different.
The second playthrough. Yeah, I started the second playthrough, but I didn't finish. So I was like, I was in my feels for a second. I was like, wait a minute, why am I torturing myself again, playing this the second time? Like, what the fuck? But still, I there's going to be some changes between live action and the actual game. Hopefully, they're not too drastic outside of Swole Abbey, but we'll see. I mean, there's going to be some shit. There's going to be some fucked up episodes season 2. I can guarantee you that. So
yeah, and I'll already say this too. Some people have problems with gay representation or black people and like being in the I can already hear the bullshit. There's probably more in season 2, and there'll be it's an adaptation, so it's going to be slightly different as well. Like for example, what's his name's Tommy's wife is the girl from True Blood.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like
And they had like
Oh
the
yeah, Regina.
well, and like
Regina.
one of the best
Yeah.
episodes in like the first season was not in the game at all, of like
mhm.
the relationship of like the gay guy with his husband
Yep,
and all that shit. That's like honestly, that was one of the best episodes of like any show of all time,
that was great.
and that
You
was
know,
not in the game at all, at
yeah,
Mhm.
all.
they I can't say at all like it's
It was hinted, but it wasn't
it
like
was
they didn't go to
hint it
detail.
was
Yeah,
barely hinted. If you paid attention to like some item that you picked up, you're like, oh, okay,
yeah,
Bill is gay. But no, but you're right. No, like relationship and who we fell in love with and all, none of that. None of it.
No.
you didn't have feeling for
Yeah.
that guy.
Yeah,
You know what I
exactly.
Yeah.
mean? Like,
No, you were
yeah,
trying to. But you went there for an upgrade, and that's it. Hey,
yeah,
here's
Hmm.
to upgrade your gear and get the fuck out.
yep,
So I forgot Regina from from True Bloods in it, because I do know a lot of people who are kind of upset because the original voice actress is Ashley Scott, she's been in a lot of live action stuff. She's actually in the WB's Birds of Prey, where she plays Helena Wayne.
yeah. But
So
I mean,
I get it.
but you know, Ellie is supposed to be a younger lady, so I can understand why they went with, you know, was it Bella Ramsey? That's her name.
Hmm.
No, I'm talking about uh fuck Joel's brother's wife.
Oh yeah,
So
you know, just sometimes it
it
just
is what
doesn't.
it
I
is.
got yeah,
Yeah.
and also we need to understand that like voice acting and, you know, physical acting is, they're two different things.
Yep.
Like
Hmm.
um, and I don't think that people like really understand that. Like some folks maybe might not be comfortable with like, having like their whole body, you know, doing that because they're not like used to doing that sort of thing.
Yep.
A really good example, kind of like on the other direction, is the guy that plays Kratos in God of War. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Like he did a really good job of like doing like the voice acting and some of the physical acting, but he also came from like a physical acting background, and like not everybody can do that because
Wait,
there's
OG God of War or
no
2018?
2018 God of War.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it's like wasn't his face that was in there, wasn't his body, it wasn't even his fucking body. You know what I mean? You have to like get used to like not having your body and likeness being like this person. You know what I mean? So I remember him from being like, was it Talik?
Yeah.
Yeah.
From SG1.
Yeah, SG1. That's a fucking long time ago. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I mean, like, there's different kinds of actors out there, and like, not everybody's like gonna do like that whole physical thing, because especially like with like a show like this, like that's like there's a lot of shit you got to do. I mean, you can rely on your, you know, stunt double or whatever, but a lot of stuff you got to do other than just, you
Yeah,
know,
but
sit in your house or a studio and just speak some lines.
I will also say the production from the first season, a lot of the like big voice actors were in the first season.
That's true.
So
Yeah,
Ellie's voice actress, she plays Ellie's mom
yeah,
in the show.
which is
We have
cool.
Troy Baker,
Yeah,
who's the voice of fucking Joel, as like one of the not insurgents, but like one of the guys at the camp.
Yeah.
He has a full on scene.
Troy
Yeah.
With like
Baker
two
is
full scenes.
Troy Baker might be one of the most underrated voice actors of all fucking time.
Yep.
He
He's great.
plays like, honestly, I'm glad to see, like, I think it's like even his likeness, right, is in Death Stranding 2 of like the
Mhm.
Yeah,
guitar
I
guy.
think is
Yeah,
it not the first one too?
he's in the first one too. Yeah,
Yeah.
but like this
Even
other one is going to be fantastic.
yeah. So if you've ever played what was it, the Division? So Division Part 2, one of the DLCs uses it's his voice, but they also use his face for the main villain. So he's the main villain, and even though it's a DLC, which is weird, but that's him too. He's
Yeah.
also the voice of Indiana Jones and Indiana Jones and the Great Circle.
And I heard he does. I heard his voice, and it sounds just like him. It sounds like Indy.
It
You know,
does, and Harrison Ford gave him praise.
Yeah.
He gave him a lot of praise.
because Harrison
So,
Ford, he's kind of fucking old, but you know.
kind of.
He's old and crotchety. Don't forget that part.
Oh, so someone is asking like the Brandon Parker's in the chat. He's the OG God of War actor was, yes, he was in Living Single. I forget his fucking name now.
Yeah.
But yeah, remember that guy. He did a fantastic job for the original God of War voice actor. But honestly, Christopher Judge, he killed it as like the older God of War.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Kratos.
But
So those are two shows, by the way, Andor and The Last of Us are next month,
Yeah.
which I'm highly looking forward to. There's also a couple of new shows coming out. Like it looks like next month will be packed with fucking hella watchable shit. So
Well,
can I
go ahead.
can I mention something on shows that surprised the ever loving fuck out of me, and I haven't seen it yet. So I saw a fucking, I don't know, 3.5 minute trailer for a show that I had never had interest in. What's
T.C.
that?
Carson, that's his name. Anyway, go ahead.
What's that one? Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah, well, especially now, it's very valid.
So I always thought it was like a period piece set in the past.
No.
I don't know how,
really?
because of her
what they were wearing and shit like that.
I was like, oh, this is like during Pilgrim times or whatever. Boy, was I fucking wrong. I saw an extended trailer and I was like, oh, you mean it's in the present? Oh, you mean it's about a fascist kind of authoritarian police state?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean that there's this, she's trying to help this one black woman and her daughter and all. I was like, oh, I had no idea that this show was about what it's about. And I was like, damn, I might fuck with it. I might try it.
Yeah. I thought it was set in the future, is it not?
It's a very slight future, maybe back then when it came out, but it's like it's not. It's basically what's happening right now with the way that our government is taking away women's rights with like their reproductive rights, like this, and like they have to have children. It's like I have so many fucking thoughts on this, but I'm gonna lay it out for everybody, just like real quick, even though I've been drinking, all right, for a minute. Is like the main reason why that you have like our current administration pushing for certain kinds of people having babies is because the current birth rates in America are below sustainable levels.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it's like a sustainable level birth rates is like 2.2 to 2.3 having babies. Like people as a whole need to have 2.2 to 2.3 babies to like have a sustainable society, because people die, so like that. So everybody has to have like 2+ people generally, but we're below that. We're actually, I think we're like 1.9 right now. And so we're having less and less babies as Americans. And that also because for right now, the majority of Americans by a slight margin, not by a whole lot, is white Americans. And so that means like there's going to be less white babies in America. You can look it up, like just look it up. And it's really hard to get around that. But if you make sure that everybody that gets pregnant has a baby, then you can artificially up your birth rates. And so that's why we're going through this whole, reversing Roe versus Wade, is to like get the quote unquote culture, which is like kind of the wrong sort of culture. When I'm putting in quotes, you can't see me right now if you're listening to this. The quote culture is like the wrong kind of culture that I'm talking about. But they want that culture to like keep going in America. But the way out is pretty easy, and it's just through immigration. Like you just have immigrants come to America because they have more babies than, natural born Americans. It's just the way things always are with immigrants. And people, they get really mad about that because I'll just say it, they're not white people.
Yeah, it's about to hit the nail.
Yeah, they get mad about it.
They're brown people.
Yeah,
they want more white babies.
But it goes
more brown people.
Yeah, but honestly, like there's really no way around this whole thing, and the reason why we need to have the 2.2 to 2.3, babies born, is because if you don't, then you have an aging society where you can't. Like literally you get into a point to where people that are retiring, the younger folks, there's not enough of them to pay into their retirement as a whole. And so you get into a place like with South Korea and even Japan and some other places where like you literally don't have enough people to sustain the aging population. And so they end up in like, there wouldn't even be like an old folks home. There's places in Korea right now that have like 6 kids in a school, an entire school, but you need to have them keep working to like, sustain society. And that's the reason why you're seeing like this whole push for like, anti-abortion and all that stuff is literally to sustain the society in America. But it's kind of like it's a fucked up like scenario.
I mean, I think for especially politicians, it's a uh, the look is bad because we're declining because you have places like China and the UK and
They're actually
India
not.
having more kids.
They're not having many kids either. It's like it's other countries that are
I
like
mean,
actually having the most kids. I'll look it up. Go ahead and talk, and I'll bring up the
I'm about
statistics.
to say, I mean, when China has like 1 billion people and
No, no,
India,
no, no, no. So
I mean,
China had less kids for a very long time. They're trying to reverse it right now. Because remember, for a long time in China, it was like you can only have was it one or two kids?
One
two
one
kids.
It
child
was
policy.
one. Yeah, it was one.
There's
So,
Warners too, but okay. Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
even then, two, that's not enough to sustain a society. It's not.
I mean, that asteroid will fix that shit real quick though. Just
Nah,
saying.
nah. Here's what's gonna happen. Here's what's gonna happen. Your buddy Elon is just gonna impregnate
Oh,
all of
who?
the white.
That's your boy. Don't you got a Tesla?
No,
Nah,
I do not.
nah,
I do
Hey, hey,
not.
nah. He don't even.
he's fancy. He had a Prius. They don't
Mm-hmm.
got him no more
Oh
though.
yeah.
Mm.
No, Elon be cheating in games, so nah, can't have that.
That is
So
true. That is
yeah,
true. That is that
they're
is
threatening to
amps.
sue his ass for cheating. So
How you gonna cheat in Diablo? That's not even competitive.
That's
Like what
fucking
the fuck?
bullshit.
I don't know. Do people cheat in Monster Hunter? That's not competitive either.
That's true. That's true.
So if people cheat with
I'll be right back.
anywhere, there's a way to get ahead. People will take it, whether it's My Little Pony or fucking Call of Duty. Doesn't matter. People will try to do it, get what they want to try to get ahead.
There, there you go.
um, I know you claim that you don't have this Disney Plus shit, but are you somehow watching Daredevil Born Again project or no?
I haven't seen it, and I may have gotten. We actually got some Hulu just a little while ago, so I could watch some NBA stuff. And I
Wait,
think
did,
and it was
did you did
and
you
it was a
solo? There's no way you solo got Hulu because that's a waste of money. You should get the
well,
bundle.
hold on, but
Always
what
bundle.
I was literally just gonna fucking say that. I was
Mm,
gonna tell you
I'll
that
say.
there was a bundle. So we do have it again, and so I'll definitely watch uh Andor for certain, and then I haven't done it yet, but I'll give Daredevil a try. You know.
Yeah, man, that's some crazy shit. And the thing about it is that it doesn't like negate what's happened in Marvel past. Like they'll
Okay.
make mention of certain things. Like there's mention of Spider-Man. There's mention of kind of the snap. Like there it's alluded, but it's not really said out loud. There's mention of Echo of what happened during that series. Like it's not super deep, but they don't ignore the events that happened because some of those are like literally physically um, scars are left because of what's happened in the
I
past.
mean, I'm going to be honest. I will check out some Daredevil for sure. Definitely not going back and watching a whole bunch of
You
uh,
don't no. You don't have to go
Marvel
back and watch.
shows. Yeah,
Yeah, I don't. But I will say the things that happen street level
yeah.
for Marvel is um, definitely like a point or like a staple. I don't maybe not a staple, but there are definitely things that they don't ignore. There's
That's
things that
cool.
happen street level that they kind of like, oh, we haven't seen each other in a while. This kind of happened, that kind of thing. So they make knowledge that there's time has passed and events has gone down in the world of the MCU. So I like
Okay.
that, but he still keeps it to Hell's Kitchen. Like he's mainly Hell's Kitchen doing his thing, but he has his own inner demons he still got to deal with. So that's kind of the main focus. Born Again. There's it feels kind of interesting because I know they filmed this maybe like 2 years ago, but a lot of this fucking story feels like it's directly ripped from the fucking headlines. Like
It,
especially what's going on like right now.
isn't Hell's Kitchen like 3 or 4 or 5 blocks? Like,
I have no idea. I've been when I was in New York, I did not go to Harlem. I didn't go. I stayed downtown. That was it. I didn't wander. So, but yeah, I will say, Daredevil Born Again is 100% grounded on the streets. there is like a little bit of extra, or I guess extraordinary shit, but you don't see it. Really, it's maybe talked
They
about,
make a lot of
but it's
references
not
to like
like
a lot of stuff. Yeah, which is like
yeah.
honestly,
So
it's
it's
really
just
cool.
yeah, but like the main thing is that it's Matt Murdock and his demons that he's like literally battling, and
What
a
did
bit of his
what
past.
did you call him?
Matt
Called
Murdock,
him
Okay, I
Max.
thought you
But,
said Max. Sound like you
yeah.
said Max.
Max is Max like HBO Max? Anyway,
hmm
so Matt and his demons are like the basis of the show, and so it's just like I know that there's like some sites are all like, oh, you don't see a whole lot of Daredevil. I'm like, well, yeah, because he's got some shit to work out
I mean,
before he.
when you get to see him, he comes out and like he fucks people up. So yeah,
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's like
I,
fucking crazy.
I
And
just
like
can't.
some of the villains, there's like more than one villain and shit. I was like, what the fuck? Some
I
crazy
just
shit.
I just can't believe that in Marvel Rivals they do not have Daredevil, and they decided to put Moon Knight and Iron Fist in that game before Daredevil and Deadpool. I'm still amazed.
they have a lot. I'm not really amazed because they have a whole bunch of other characters that are just like kind of lesser known characters.
Mm-hmm.
But they also have like they're announcing new shit like all the time.
All
So
the
I
time.
expect them to have like some of them in. I mean, Fantastic Four is in the fucking game now.
And they
Yeah,
just released them. They released them 2 and 2.
Yeah,
Like the first month was 2, and then they released the next 2 a month later.
well, and look, like what was it? It was like 33 characters were in the game from launch. That's a lot. Like you can't expect there to be like only MCU characters like from the jump. Like that's unrealistic.
No. I'm not saying in terms of the amount or there's not enough or whatever characters. I'm just saying that I would venture to say that Daredevil is more popular than Moon Knight. I just would.
Well, so no,
that's kind of rough.
The
Really?
only reason why I say to me and you, yes, obviously, but when it comes to like the general public, no, because like when was the last Daredevil show? When was the last Moon Knight show?
But I mean, but the Daredevil show was on for.
It doesn't matter. Like
3 seasons.
The Moon Knight show was on more recently, so I think they made a smart decision to like keep to more recent, characters that people would know from like watching the shows and playing the games and maybe reading the comics. Because let's be honest, like most folks don't read comic books. So
Most folks don't read comic books, but I still think Daredevil is more popular, and I also think that even Daredevil is more popular than Squirrel Girl.
I mean, it's more popular with comic book readers. 100% agree with you, but when it comes to like the who knows the character, like more people will probably know, especially in more recent memory, they'll know Moon Knight more than Daredevil.
But they put Iron Fist in too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, so apparently there's more than one Iron Fist in the comic.
Well,
so
and hold on, and there's also a lens of this shit was not made in America; it was made in China.
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
But you also have characters that are also, you would say, not from I guess Prodigy logic, are not very popular. But they have Penny Parker. They have Luna Snow. Like I have no idea who the fuck Luna is, but she's a great healer. She fucks shit up in the game.
She's a good healer.
So
she is a good healer.
So it is fucking like a mix of legacy characters that they would say, plus the new shit. Like these Moon Knight's been around for at least a decade now, maybe longer. So
well, I mean, way longer than that, but yeah.
Yeah, so at least I would say as Cronus was saying, he's a newer character. He has a fan base.
Well, like I said though, it depends on like I don't know who's popular in China. You know what I mean? But also these are it wasn't a problem with American fans. Like nobody's really complaining about. I mean,
no,
old fucks are. Thanks, Prodigy. But
no, I would even say the younger generation too, for certain wants to see like Deadpool in the game. Come on now, like.
Well, he's coming. Like, have you seen like the whole like he's coming?
I get the fact that he's coming, but I mean, I'm just saying like.
But also, like, how much of Deadpool did they see in China? That's like
that movie made over $1 billion. I don't know how much in China though.
Yeah, well, I think that it's probably heavily edited and like really moved back in China because of censorship. So yeah,
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I don't know. And there's a whole huge roster of fucking characters. I mean, it didn't launch with the Fantastic Four, or at least any member of them
no,
when it
no.
dropped. And they were a whole there were a whole season based on them. Even though you do get Doctor Doom, you do get Magneto, but you don't get Xavier. I mean, at least in what was it
I
X Men
didn't.
Children of the Atom?
I
I think
haven't.
you get
There's
Xavier
no
or some
Doctor
shit.
Doom.
I haven't seen Doom.
Was it?
Doom's not in the game.
You ever see
I haven't
Doctor
seen
Well,
Doom?
Doom.
he's
Oh,
like he's not a playable
yeah,
character.
he's
Yeah,
not
I haven't
playable
seen
yet,
Doom.
but he's in the game. So there's a bunch of characters, and apparently there's a huge fucking list. Apparently Captain Marvel's coming, Deadpool. Um, there's some other characters. I mean, no one's come. I mean, I didn't see a whole lot of outcry about Miles Morales not being in the game. I mean, he's got his own game, so
I will say, yeah, he definitely has his own game. I would have loved to have seen Miles earlier, but I'm sure he's coming. I just,
mm, I don't know if they're gonna. I mean, they could. I mean, I think it's cool that they got Venom. Venom's a very good fucking addition to the
he's great.
fucking
He's a
game.
great tank. He's a great tank.
Yeah. So and then I suspect we'll see more. There's a handful of X-Men. I mean, there's obviously Storm and Wolverine, and
Yeah.
I don't think Jean Grey's in the game.
No, I will
Yeah.
say, in terms of the X-Men, to me they were a little skimpy on them because I would have loved to have seen, the Cyclops and
He's
whatnot. But
he's
now they
he's in
can
the
add them
pipe.
later.
Yeah, like there's like I said, 33 characters from the jump. That's a lot of characters.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're kind of criticizing on something where like I can't think of another game like this where they had like so many different characters from the jump.
Yeah.
So and they're adding more in.
My criticism is not about the number though. Some of the choices seem odd to me, but
Yeah, it's
we'll see.
like I said, I gave my opinion on it. So yeah,
Yeah, it's because you're old, Prodigy. You're old as fuck.
but
Not
you're
as old as
older.
me.
You're older than all of us.
Yeah, I know, but still,
Dead-
you stuck in 1985. So,
Deadpool
there you
came out
go.
last year and made all that money.
Yeah, but I get that, but like Deadpool's actually not exactly kid friendly either. But neither are some of the other characters. But
Yeah, what are we
he's
talking
definitely
about?
not kid friendly.
Actually, well,
Yeah,
now
he's
I'm kind of curious. I'm gonna look up like how much did Deadpool make in China and how much did Venom make in China.
Oh,
Hmm?
oh, that's a good thing. Anyway,
I don't know if both
while
released
he
it.
looks it up. So did y'all see today that they announced a new Power Rangers fucking show?
I don't get,
They're rebooting Power Rangers, and guess
I'm a-
where it's gonna be?
I'm gonna tell you this right now. I don't give I have never given a single shit about Power Rangers, but keep going.
Why you lying? I know you had a Kimberly poster. Why you
Nah,
do that?
even when I was 10 years old, I was like, this is some whack ass shit. I've always fucking hated Power Rangers. Fuck them.
Yeah, Power
Are you
Rangers are
serious?
coming back.
I used to love
I never fucked with them.
Yeah, so guess who picked that shit up? Fucking Disney Plus.
Okay.
Disney Plus will have a new Power Rangers fucking TV show. Even
Live
after
action?
like yes.
Okay.
A lot. I mean, when is there even an animated Power Rangers? I have no
I
idea.
thought there was, but I don't know. I could be wrong. I don't know.
I have no idea, but I was just like, what the fuck, Power Rangers? I mean, the movie that came out in like what 2019 or whatever, that was actually okay. I wasn't too mad at it,
Wow.
but it didn't float a sequel. So there you go.
So my answers are validated about like China and Deadpool. So Venom scored they made $262 million in China in 2018. And if you go back to Deadpool and Wolverine, they made $59 million, opening with only $24 million. So yeah, that's probably the reason why, because they were more exposed to Venom than Deadpool, and really, I'm surprised they got Wolverine, but the X-Men was there, so whatever.
So it sounds like that was the most recent Deadpool movie that was out. And the other ones never released there? Is that what?
They probably did, but I mean, like, that was the most popular Deadpool, was like the last one. So
Yeah.
I'll pull from that, and it made drastically more money. I think it has to do with like the themes and the censorship in China. I mean, Venom, it's sort of violent, but you can edit out more of the violence, and the themes were not as extreme as Deadpool. So
one was PG-13 and the other was R every single time.
yeah. So there's that, and China doesn't fuck around with shit like that. So
Yeah.
Oh, I know y'all saw this, and I know that the internet's been a buzz about this shit. Is that the reviews have come in for Assassin's Creed Shadows, and those fucking reviews are gleamingly positive, despite all this controversy and hatreds and revisionist history that people want to say and all kinds of shit. Y'all see this shit out there? People big mad about this shit out there. They're big mad when it got announced.
I'm glad to see it. I will also say that not every Assassin's Creed has been great. So it's good to be semi-skeptical of some Assassin's Creed games. I think people went way too far, and it was just plain out racism in terms of the hatred of Yasuke, in a lot of ways. I will also say this, though. I've seen some recent ads that barely have Yasuke in it, and it's all been, what's her name, Noe or what? Noah?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So, glad to see it. I hope the game is really, really good. I love when Assassin's Creeds are good. I loved Origins, Odyssey, and Black Flag, and a whole bunch of other ones. But yeah, I hope that there's not a disconnect between reviews from IGN and GameStop and all of that, and the players too. I hope the players actually love it as much as some of the critics.
No, honestly, in this aspect, because there's some players that are they're racist assholes. But I mean, I'll give some validity to your point. Is that there's a problem that I have with Yasuke as a protagonist, only because in the game he's basically like a brute, and I don't like that for like black people in general. I like us being brutes, and that's a problem. But I also do want to play as a samurai. So in a black samurai, I think it'd be cool. But apparently they limited like the amount of stuff that he can do in the game, as far as like he's not a ninja. He's not an assassin. He's a samurai, and samurais take things more up front and directly. He can run through doors and walls and all that shit. So, which goes back to the brute status, and Naoe plays more like an assassin. And so, I think that if you want to play the game as like an Assassin's Creed game, then play as Naoe, and you should be fine as long as you don't care about playing as a woman. And which I don't, because whatever. But I think it's cool to have like two different play styles in the game. That you can pick between. I pre-ordered the game the other day. I'll pick it up tomorrow, and I'll play, and I'll give my honest review. But I'm looking forward to it. I heard one of the greatest things that I heard about this game is that there's very little glitches.
That's great,
and that is fantastic to hear about an Assassin's Creed game. So I'll get the game, even though I'm playing right now. I'm playing Dragon Age Veilguard because it was paid for, free, whatever, on PSN Plus. But I'll put it down to play the new Assassin's Creed, and I will tell you my honest thoughts about it next week.
For sure. I mean, I can tell you I think we all know collectively that this game will be review bombed into hell when it's fully released.
By the users, yes.
Yeah, by the users, 100%.
Well,
100%.
What I will say is, I think that you're right that there's going to be plenty of that just based on GP. However, if the game is as great as some of these critic reviews are showing, which is like a 9 and some almost
it's
9.5,
it's 8
out
and
of 10.
up. Yeah, minimum 8.
8 or 9. Typically, even those negative hater ass reviews will get drowned out within a few weeks if everybody's fucking loving it, like who bought it and are playing it. That's the way that'll usually work.
And let's be honest, I mean, like, Ubisoft has been getting a lot of hate lately, which has been kind of warranted. They had a few string of like not great games, but Ubisoft.
What are you talking about? They made Red Dead Redemption 2 in space.
Yeah,
come on now,
bro. How dare you?
Wow.
But let's just be honest. They've also made some really, really great games,
Yeah.
And I don't want this company to go down because of like some racist bullshit. Because some of the games that I would like to come back from them is Far Cry, which is always great for me. I've played like all of them basically for like the longest time. And what was the other one? Watch Dogs, which has been gone for a while. I always enjoy those games. They're creative, and don't get me wrong, they have like this whole formula thing of like the whole like opening up the map thing and like having like the watchtower thing, and like I understand like their whole like gameplay system. They need to evolve, but they're still really enjoyable, even on the base level. They're still enjoyable, and I hope that this company stays around to make more good games. And so I hope that Assassin's Creed Shadows puts them back to where they used to be. And I've heard from a few reviewers that this has been the greatest Assassin's Creed game since Black Flag. And for me, that is the highest praise for an Ubisoft game.
Mm-hmm. I remember people have been talking about there hasn't been a Splinter Cell game in a long fucking time.
Correct.
So
yeah,
this could be the step in the right direction. If this is as good as it is, they can use the gameplay possibly in a new Splinter Cell. Who knows? We'll see.
Let me put it to you like this. You can go to any high school in America and ask them what Splinter Cell is and see a whole lot of blank stares. Like there's an entire generation that has not even heard of Splinter Cell.
They don't even know that Splinter Cell used to be up there with Metal Gear. Even then, Metal Gear at this point, you go to high school again.
Yep.
People won't even know.
Yep. So, you know.
We'll see.
That tactical espionage, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Hopefully that makes some way back. So we'll see.
I mean, we're getting. I mean, Death Stranding too. I mean, we're basically getting like a, possibly like a, Solid Snake.
Yep.
Maybe. So he's got the bandana on.
Yep.
Anyway, we got to end this because I need rest.
Yes, I'm tired too, man. Let's end it. All right, old ninja, what you got popping this week?
So I guess I'll be picking up Assassin's Creed Shadows sometime this weekend. This is my first Assassin's Creed since the first one. So
whoa, you never played Black Flag?
No,
you didn't play. Hold on. What the fuck, bro? In the DLC, you can beat down slave owners.
I'm aware. I've played a little bit of Liberation, and I didn't like it. So this will be.
Let me sell you real quick. My favorite is always going to be Origins. You can slide down a pyramid, motherfucker.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, I know what you can do. I know what the games are about. I just haven't played them. And they're actually, as an Xbox owner, the majority of them are
your
on
problem.
fucking Game Pass.
That's your problem. Is you're an Xbox owner.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Well, no, they're available to me.
Apparently not. I mean, you haven't played them, so just saying.
Yeah, I haven't played them. There's actually a few games that I've never played.
All right, keep going.
This will be the first one I go out and play and buy and play. I'm catching up on was it Harley Quinn, the series. I forgot that because Blue pointed out that shit was fucking great, so I caught up very quickly. So I'm current now. And then shit. What else has I got going on? There's not a whole much. I've been watching Mayor of Kingstown. So I need at least one of you to fucking pick up the show.
Where do I watch it? Where is it?
It's on Paramount Plus.
No, I ain't watching that bullshit.
Isn't that with the guy that played Hawkeye?
He's Hawkeye, yeah. So it's a very gritty fucking show. Prodigy, you of all people, I figured this show is right up your alley.
I don't fuck with Paramount Plus on GP no more.
Oh my goodness! But yeah, this show's been fucking crazy. It's like a crazy prison crime drama. Like you watch Snowfall. It's like multicultural Snowfall, maybe. I don't know. It's been very fucking gritty and very violent. So
I do like the grit.
Yeah, it's been a lot of shit on here because I forget that it's streaming, and all of a sudden, something super wild happens. I'm like, dude, is this show like PG-13? No, it's a very nice little R-rated fucking show. And Jeremy Renner goes for it. He goes for. You see why he was nominated for Oscars in this fucking show. So
cool.
It's been very cool. So yeah, and then I'm watching that. Oh, and I'm still hunting hunting this weekend. I've only hunted once with Prodigy. I've been trying to catch him. We just have different schedules, but I posted some Monster Hunter live feed a couple days ago. Probably gonna do another one maybe this weekend. We'll see. But I'm probably gonna do some streaming of Assassin's Creed as well. So that's it for me.
Yeah, hit me up. I'll try to get on there maybe on Saturday or something.
Yeah, you might miss me, but we'll see.
What do I got? Maybe tomorrow we'll see Blue, but it's kind of unlikely, to be honest, because trying to get up to Irvine during rush hour is hard from here. On a Thursday, so we'll see. I got to talk to him. If I don't see him, I'll try to make an extra trip up to the Bay Area sooner rather than later to hang out with him again, because it was so great to like hang out with him and like the rest of all y'all except for Prodigy because he didn't come up. But whatever, fuck you, Prodigy. For us every week.
Yeah,
would have had a lot of fun.
I mean, but yeah.
But yeah, other than that, just I'm chilling for right now. Yeah, I'm good. So that's all I got. Nothing extra.
Good shit. I will try to watch. I'll start on some Daredevil and definitely watching some more Solo. I will give a special shout out to an anime that is older, at least a year or two. I finally started Spy Family. That shit is fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
I'm watching that one with my daughter, who absolutely loves the whole family dynamic with the assassin and the spy and the Cold War shit. It's just fun, but it's hilariously fun. So definitely check that one out if you get an opportunity. And that's all I got. Take us out, old ninja.
Oh shit, I forgot. I'm gonna watch the Russo brothers new movie with Millie Bobby Brown and Chris Pratt. Oh. That's on Netflix right now. I'm gonna check that out.
One quick last
Bill
thing.
Burr.
Yeah, I was just gonna
special,
say.
Yeah.
That Bill Burr special was fucking phenomenal. I won't spoil any of the fucking jokes, but it's an hour plus of stand up. He's in Seattle doing it. It's on Hulu. It's called Drop Dead something.
Yeah, Drop Dead
Years.
Yeah. Which is like our age, unfortunately.
Yeah, that's exactly where we're at.
God damn it.
So there you go.
Let me go get some rest.
So you just experienced Black and Back times Infinity, the dankest podcast on the internet. Check us out anywhere and everywhere with BTHAN. That's BTHAN BTI anywhere and everywhere. If you're listening to us via audio and didn't know, we go live on YouTube and Twitch every Wednesday, 8:30 Pacific-ish time, because we're black and we don't usually start on time. I know, stereotypical. You can email us at bthanbti@gmail.com. We have a Discord server as well. You can join us from there. Email us, let us know you want to join. And then check out our official website, benheadproductions.squarespace.com/bthanbti. Is that right?
Yeah.
I get it right?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. So I had to update our Twitch page also. It had our old website. So there you go.
All right. Rob this bitch. Peace.
Eating on a Cybertruck.
Yeah.